Hi, I'm Terica Talbert, and welcome to Tuesdays with Terica. So today we're going to be interviewing Connor Rehn with PestGuard. So for those of you who have an issue with pests, bugs, roaches, spiders, water, moisture underneath your crawl space, anything that may be of a situation, I think he's going to be able to help you so that you can have a solution. Stay tuned. This is Terica Talbert, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Tuesdays with Terica. So today we're going to be interviewing Connor Rehn with PestGuard. Hi, Connor.
Hey, how are we doing? Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for taking time to be here with us this morning.
Of course.
I just wanted to, I thought it was just such a wonderful idea to be able to share with our viewers how important it is to have pest control.
Yes, ma'am.
Most people in our line of business, we're coming from an aspect of moisture and with the aspect of termites. And a lot of people don't understand what termites mean for our area. But before we get into all that, tell me a little bit about PestGuard.
Yes, of course. Yes. So I'm the sales manager at PestGuard. My brother had started the company in 2018. So actually this July will be 4 years of us being in business.
Wonderful.
Family owned. We're out of Greenville, South Carolina. And right now we have 10 technicians.
That is great.
Yes, ma'am. So 10 people on the team. We have 2 office ladies, and we actually just had an interview, and we hired a new guy yesterday. So yeah, we're growing. You know that. You're an agent here. Greenville's growing. We're growing. We're just trying to take the strides, you know, as a small family-owned business, but it's been great.
There's an actual need for what you guys do. And again, from a realtor standpoint, the moisture and the termites are what we kind of look towards for your help and your professionalism and assistance. But that's not all you guys do.
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Yeah.
so share a little bit about that with us.
Yeah, so I always joke with people. I say, you know, it's in the name. You know, we're PestGuard, so we want to guard you from the pests. So we do quarterly pest control. We do commercial pest control, residential pest control, and that's going to cover a lot of things. I know a lot of people call me, Connor, I have a roach, or Connor, I have a spider, but you're going to get covered for ants, spiders, roaches, silverfish.
So for my clients who may find a house that they want, and there is a terrain or a pond or some type of creek, they always have the question about, well, what about the mosquitoes? What would you suggest to them? How would you handle that?
Well, first, I would probably suggest them to give me a call, right? we would be able to take care of that for them. How mosquitoes work are when we're doing your quarterly pest control that we talked about before, we're hitting those you know, the gamut of creepy crawlies that are going to be in and around your home. But we're not broadcasting that treatment. So we want to make sure we take care of the yard, the trees, the bushes. That's where the mosquitoes hang out when you don't see them on those leafy.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, yes, ma'am, on those leafy areas. So it's not really changing up the product, but it's changing how the product is applied, and we want to make sure we take care of that lawn, that yard, those trees, and those areas with standing water.
I think that's great. I also, you know, of course, we recommend that our clients have CL100s, and a lot of people, when they're moving here from different areas, it's not anything that's relevant for their communities. And what I tell them is that because of our climate, you really need to have one here.
Yes,
what
ma'am.
would you suggest to them on that?
I would definitely say if you're going to invest a lot of money on buying a house, you want to know the integrity of that crawl space.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't even know what a crawl space is because they're moving, you know, from the north where they have basements or, you know, they're used to just a slab only. So having someone go underneath, checking moisture readers, or moisture readings, I should say. So this is a moisture reader. I'll be
Very
able to,
important.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'll be able to tell the customer, you know, what the wood moisture content is underneath that house. and you want it to be under 20%. And you know as well as I do, it's pretty hot and humid in South Carolina, so it's not as easy as just having those, levels under that 20%. And there's things that companies can do, but just checking the wood moisture content, water in the crawl space, things like that. That's why, it's just getting eyes on underneath.
So you were talking about basement. So basement settings, usually, what situations do you find with that? Is that more moisture? Because you wouldn't necessarily have termites in a basement situation, or would you?
You could. No house is, I guess, out of the realm of getting termites. Any house can get termites. I've seen a home built in 2017 on a slab with baiting stations, and we found termites in the garage.
Wow.
Along with basements as well. Termites don't care. They're going to go and they're going to find that wood, and they'll make a tunnel all the way up until they get to their wood. So basements, when in regards to moisture, it depends if it's a finished basement. A lot of times if it's not finished, a lot of customers will get a basement dehumidifier just to regulate that air quality in there. But typically we don't run into a lot of moisture issues in the basement. Maybe some standing water, maybe there's some issues where water is getting in there.
From a foundational point
Yes,
of view.
ma'am, exactly.
Okay.
But most of the time, I run into moisture issues in a crawl space rather than a basement.
Wow. So in a crawl space, because most people aren't going to go in a crawl space.
Yeah.
And that's why you encourage your buyers. Yes, this is a lot of money you're investing. You need to know every single thing about it. So you encourage them to pay someone
Yes, ma'am.
to check and see. Now, I've had different situations where a dehumidifier was needed.
Yes, ma'am.
And a vapor
barrier, yep.
So what does that actually do? Can you explain that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So those are types of things to help regulate and remediate any sort of moisture issue. So think of a crawl space as its own environment. There's crawl space entrances, your door, and then you have the vents. You want to keep those vents open because that's going to regulate the air. But when it's hot and humid like it is now, and I just checked the weather, it's like going to be 100 degrees next week. Those crawl spaces are going to be feeling it too, right? So you're going to want to make sure that environment in there is being taken care of as well. So if you just have soil, and I'm no science major, right? I'm in the pest control industry, but when you have open soil, that's going to cause humidity and moisture.
Right.
And if that humidity and moisture from the ground is going into the wood, that's going to cause your wood moisture readings to be probably above 20% in those summer months.
Which also can cause
fungal growth, fungal growth, yes ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, so that vapor barrier is going to trap it. It's literally in the name. It's a moisture barrier or vapor barrier. It's going to trap any sort of moisture that's from the ground, 6 mil plastic or 12 mil plastic or poly, if you want to call it that. It's going to just trap it there. And if you're going to put a dehumidifier in the home, let's say your moisture readings are at 25%. You and I know a vapor barrier is not going to suck the moisture out of the wood. It's just going to prevent fungal growth and for it to get higher.
Right.
But to close on a house, the lenders are going to want to see that under 20%, correct?
Right.
So that's where we're going to seal the vents, put in a dehumidifier on top of the vapor barrier, because then that's a controlled environment. That's its own environment.
Right.
So the vents are sealed. The dehumidifier is going to regulate that humidity, probably about 55 to 59% humidity in there. And PestGuard does all that work. So there's a lot of times when we're underneath the house, I'm just taking a snapshot. I just want to show the buyers what I see when I'm underneath there. Show them my moisture readings, show them pictures of water, show them this, and then I'm like, but it's okay, because there's always, anything we find in the crawl space, there's always a way to fix it.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So the thing with you finding the water, it's also you with maybe a home inspector. I'll see a lot of times where a lot of your comments are the same, as far as a home inspector may see a leak inside the home.
Yep.
But then when I see the termite inspection, it kind of mimics.
Exactly.
Because water's coming from somewhere.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're able to help kind of detect where did it start from.
Exactly.
And help remediate that if necessary.
Yeah, it's like we're playing inspector. We are an inspector, and I always have great communication with that. I have great communication with that home inspector.
Correct.
So that home inspector is going to say, hey, Connor, I'm noticing that bathroom sink is leaking. So I look where that bathroom sink is on the inside of the house. Then when I go underneath the crawl space, I have a mental note in my mind, and then I'm knowing this isn't a water issue in the crawl space, water going underneath the footer, or the downspouts need to be extended. The issue is there's a leak in the crawl space.
Right.
So then I'm not going to suggest a French drain or dehumidifier. Just get a licensed plumber to evaluate that and take care of it.
And you were saying about the downspouts. Okay, so a lot of people don't feel that downspouts are necessary, but they are necessary.
They are. They can save you a lot of money. French drains aren't cheap. On the low end, you're looking at probably $3,000 depending on the size of the house. And coming from the sales manager, right, this might sound crazy, but I want to do what's best for the customer, especially that home buyer, and I know there's a seller on the other end.
Right.
And they're leaving the house. So for me to push something that someone doesn't need and someone to lose a deal, well, not a lot of people are going to be happy with me, right? So when I find the issue, my next job is, how can we solve this issue, right? I don't want to create...
So that it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to create any issues. I want to, create a solution. And I'm going to walk around the outside. If I see that the downspouts aren't extended or those gutters just have that one downspout and it's going straight, like, to the footer of the home, that pressure of that water eventually is going to go underneath the footer of the home and sprout up underneath your crawl space. So we can.
See, your typical person doesn't know that. That's why we need you guys.
Yes, ma'am. So, and that'll save you money because you go down to Lowe's and Home Depot, you buy some gutter extensions,
which are inexpensive compared to the
$300 to $3,000. So I rather spend $300 than $3,000, especially what's going on right now. Things are getting up in price.
Right.
So you just want to make sure that you're doing the smart thing and always check why there's water in the crawl space. And we'll put that in our letters as well. We're always going to say due to when we find something in the crawl space.
So with your service, you guarantee your, when you come out, you guarantee your product for how long? Is it for a year or 6 months? How long do you feel like when you come out, you do a service and you're going to stand behind your product?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, in regards to any sort of moisture control, if we're doing that, we're going to stand by it for a lifetime. Okay. And we actually offer some moisture renewals, meaning we can come back each year for $150. We can check that dehumidifier. We can change the filters. We can make sure that the wood moisture content is still what it needs to be. We take pictures of that crawl space each year, and then we send it to the customer. Because like you said, if you're not getting paid for it, they're probably not going to want to go underneath, right? unless you got a nice walk-in. But you're probably going to want someone to go under there and check. So we provide that service as well. And anything that we put, if we're doing a seal 100 and we find issues, anything that we recommend, if you need it, we're also going to guarantee that that's going to be a clear seal 100 at the end of that work. So I'm not going to have y'all pay a ton of money on something and then the next inspection comes by and it's still not clear. Again, a lot of people are upset with us after that, and luckily we haven't had to run into that.
Well, that is so good. So since you're standing behind your product, let's talk about the services as far as the Pest product that you're using inside the home. Ma'am. Because a lot of people have small children, babies, whether it is sickness, illness, with themselves or even their fur babies. They want to make sure that everybody's safe. So will your product, is it safe for small children, people who are battling an illness, and for the fur babies?
Yes, ma'am, and that's a great question. We get that question a lot, and that answer is 100% yes. What I use in your house, I'm going to use in my own house. I got 2 cats and a German Shepherd at home. My brother's got 2 little kids at home, and we use these products in our house. There's no smell to it. It doesn't stain anything. It's going to dry within 30 minutes, and it's very effective. And there's actually a residual of about 3 months that lasts. That's why we do quarterly visits.
Wonderful.
But the good thing is, I hate bugs just as much as the next guy, trust me. So I'm either in the right industry or in the wrong industry, but I'm killing them, so I guess I'm probably in the right one, right? I'm going to say, hey, if you see a bug after we come out, if it's 2-3 weeks and you see something, you let us know. We'll come back out. That's at no extra charge. We're just going to resurface that area for you and take care of it. But yeah, it's going to be totally safe. And we also use those products in our restaurants as well.
Oh, I think that's awesome.
Yes,
and I think that's really going to give a lot of people that extra sense of security and knowing that they can trust a product. We try to offer the best that we can for our clients because we want them to have the best, but it's really comforting to know that there is a company that is taking an extra step to make sure that everybody is safe.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, we got a lot going on, so we don't need to be worried about this
Exactly.
one more thing. So as we wrap up, Connor, I would like for you to be able to just share with our viewers how everyone can get in contact with you and any other helpful hints or thoughts that you might have that may do a service for our viewers.
Yeah, of course. So everyone, if you like what you heard, go check out our website. It's PestGuard Solutions SC, or PestGuardSC.com, sorry, PestGuardSC.com. You can look at all of our products, or all of our services: moisture control, termite control, and pest control, residential and commercial. And you all can, give me a call. It's 864-616-0375. I'm our sales manager, so I can answer any questions for pricing, any questions for, hey, can you come check out my crawl space? I haven't had a company come out at all. We do free estimates, so we're not going to charge you anything. If you just want us to come check out the integrity of your crawl space, or you're thinking, they mentioned something about a vapor barrier, we don't have that, or we don't have a dehumidifier or anything, you give me a call, we can come check things out and look at everything. And if you're wondering about pest control, again, you can check our website about that, or give me a call, or email me at Connor, CONNOR, at PestGuardSC.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again for coming out and spending some time with us. As always, our channel is to be able to help, encourage, inspire, uplift, give you something to think about for your week. So I know a lot of you as viewers may not be in a situation where you need pest control at this time, but if you do, if you are a homeowner, if you're thinking about buying a home, if you're in an apartment, whatever it is where you may need the services, please reach out to me at 864-270-8111, and I will make sure that you get Connor's information. I think it's wonderful that we have someone that wants to service the public so that you can have everything that you need for an affordable price. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great week.